Okay. Okay, everyone. My name is David, and this is the David Equazi Show. Today we have a very important person, a distinguished guest with us today, Mr. Blessed Kure. He's a writer, a sign maker, an activist, and many more other things, which if I start mentioning all of them, I may not have time to continue the show. So today we'll be discussing about nationalism, which is just under word for patriotism, and what each and every one of us needs to do to play our part in building a better Nigeria. Because worldwide right now, nationalism is one of the most important aspects of every nation. Because as a people, if you don't love your country and you don't play your part to make your country great, it will be stagnant and it will never move. So join us today. Mr. Blessed Kure will be telling us how each and every one of us can play our part from, how do you usually say it?
Well, my commitment
From cradle
to adulthood.
from cradle to adulthood. So
That's right.
from childhood to adulthood.
That's right.
So thank you.
Mr. David, thanks for this moment. Thanks for having me here. Wow, what a great nation we have. I still have that name that Nigeria is being called, the giant of Africa. And I believe we still remain the giant of Africa.
Okay.
I believe we still remain the giant of Africa. And with a host of people like me here and there in the nation, contributing a sort of 1% to nationalism, national consciousness, patriotism, and all that. These are all coin words that gives birth to nationalism. If you don't love your nation, the culture of your nation, and if you don't wave a flag for your nation, you don't expect a viable and united nation.
That's true.
So it's a clarion call for Nigerians at home and in the diaspora to
Okay.
imbibe the culture of nationalism. So wherever you are, whichever country you are in, whichever country you are affiliated in as a Nigerian, it's a call, a sort of clarion call for us to remember that in our fundamentals, which are spreads within the factor of our symbols, our national symbols cut across our national pledge, our national anthem, our identity, national passport, and all of that. But today we're talking about our fundamental, which cut across our ethics, and values. It's amazing what the nation we have. The end of our national pledge is so help me God. It's quite amazing. It will amaze you to know that the pledge is an oath, it's a swear, it's a promise, it's more of a commitment, a form of flag waving commitment, a form of love for nation. So within this context of the definitive value of our national pledge, we find what we call nationalism showing forth at every step of it. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, we are showing nationalism. To be faithful, loyal, and honest, love for country, nationalism. To serve Nigeria with all my strength, nationalism. To defend her unity and uphold her honor and glory, nationalism. So help me God. Coming to look at the national anthem once again, it depicts a host of nationalism connotations. Those that happen to say that Nigeria may be blessed is quite amazing.
A minute. Before you start breaking down everything, I have a few questions.
That's right.
So that people watching us will also understand and be able to follow. So you wrote a book.
That's right.
which is titled My Commitments
That's right.
and Building a Better Nigeria.
That's right.
So, what inspired you to write that book?
Well, my inspiration into writing this book is based on the book we wrote 2016, The Change We Desire. The Change We Desire is intended to translate the national, it has translated the national pledge into 4 languages: Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, and Pidgin. So it's intended for people from different tribes from the major, that is the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, to bear in mind the simple language that can give them the definitive value of the national pledge, which was translated in the 4 languages: Hausa, Yoruba, Pidgin, and Igbo. That was the inspiration. And most of Love for Nation really got me consumed. So I thought, the other way I should remove this
Okay.
from my shoulder to spread to people, probably 1% mindset could be changed anyways.
Of course, of course. Because we Nigerians, I don't know if you guys know, because right now, some parts of the country they're thinking of leaving, they're thinking of separating and forming their own country. Some people support it, some people don't. More and more Nigerians are believing that the way forward is to separate. And Mr. Blessed Kure has a different idea on what should be done. He thinks the way forward is to come together and actually build the country. And he believes that it's not up to the politicians, but up to you and I. Okay. So, can you share your journey of how you got to that conclusion?
Well, apparently, for us to build a united, viable nation, it all is dependent on how much we love our nation. And how much we love our nation, we cannot love our nation just from the breeze. We have to hold on to the tenets that made us to be united together. you know. So no matter how much you are disgruntled and not happy with the state of Nigeria, I know in recent years, since from independence, we have gone through a lot of hurdles that are not really, pleasant. The newspaper headlines and many things, the insurgency and the setback of corruption and all of that. It has really got us overwhelmed. We became so subdued. We become so, cajoled, in this mannerism. It's quite unfortunate. Nevertheless, in spite of the fact that we are likely to be, consummated by all these vices that can be called setback, I can tell you assuredly that we'll be out of it. I know of a few countries that found themselves in a similar situation like ours, and yet they're out of it. As we go further, I would narrate them in the book that we have written here, My Commitment. So Nigeria is a form of, it is said, united. United we stand, divided we fall. So if we stand united, it's likened that we are not going to be divided.
Okay.
In a like manner, if you have a piece of broom, you can break it. But if you have a host of broom, that is a host of broom, that is the whole of it, is hardly going to be broken. So that shows that if we get united as a nation, we will not be broken really.
So, what do you think should be the bond that keeps us united?
Well, the bond that keeps us united is simple. Look, let me tell you, if only our adversaries, the people that would not like Nigeria to remain a united, viable nation, would remember that part of our ethics, part of our fundamentals, part of our national pledge and national anthem depicts that we're seeking for the help of God. I tell you this, they will not be happy. That could be changed quickly so that we can get sync. Coming to look at it, the spiritual connotation, the spiritual attachment to our very fundamental is overwhelming. I want to assure you, within a short time, if we can declare in symphony to accept this clarion call and ask for the help of God. By the way, have you ever seen someone who will say to you, hey, I'm so angry, I'm so angered at my state, at my nation, I don't really need the help of God again. Have you seen someone does that? No, I don't think anyone would do that. But look at it. If only we keep making such a declaration, we keep making such a declaration. I want to tell you this. I want to believe every religion on this planet Earth believes in meditation. Every religion in this planet Earth believes in declaration, muttering, saying what he desires. Look, when we keep declaring that Nigeria may be blessed, I want to assure you it will surely be blessed. When we keep declaring that, so help us God, Nigeria will be help of God. So, within the context of my little knowledge, I want to believe that no matter how religiosity you would think, uh, one would turn out to be, hey, we keep saying, look, let me tell you, we kept on making recitation of this national praise and national anthem. But do you know what? We don't practice them. Look, in this clarion call, it's intended that, look, when we practice the virtues in the national pledge, just as it's written in the book, My Commitment. Here's the book, My Commitment.
Yes.
As it is written in this book, um, as you go further, you understand where mothers and parents are expected to teach their children the virtues of the national pledge. That is from cradle to
Okay.
adulthood. Yeah. So perpetually, if we strike this,
So, what are the most important virtues you believe that we should all put to our hearts?
listen, when you listen to the statement made in the national pledge to how it's recited, it is said, I pledge. I pledge is like I swear. I pledge is like I vow. I pledge is like I promise. I
Okay.
pledge is like I commit myself. Yeah, that
Yes.
is you are totally persuaded to Nigeria, your country, as it would be said to Nigeria, as it is said to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful. Look, if we are faithful, Nigeria will be good. If we're loyal, Nigeria will be good. If we're honest, Nigeria will be good. If we serve Nigeria with all our strength, Nigeria will be good. If we defend our unity and uphold our honor and value, Nigeria will be good. If we ask for the help of God, which caps it all, Nigeria will come out real good as the giant of Africa. I assure you this.
Okay. So, from what I'm understanding, in essence, what you're saying is that Nigerians need to involve God when it comes to dealing with the things of the nation.
Very well.
Okay. So, how do they? Okay, let me play the devil's advocate.
Please, if you may.
Okay. So, how would they wrestle with the unemployment, with hungry in the nation? At a time you need to have eating to be able to.
Okay, listen, let me tell you this. Let's be very sensitive to our environment.
Okay.
We've got a new leader now that just come in. Bola Tinubu, that is our president. He
Okay.
just came in. I'm not a politician. I do not know jack about politics. I've never seen Bola Tinubu face to face. But I want to assure you that is a wonderful leader. His audacity and his strength is likened to be the person that breaks coconut with his hands. Look, when this man comes into power, he brought so many reforms.
Okay.
And by the way, look, I'm not a politician. I stand to be corrected. And he was fierce about it. And I want to assure you, Nigeria is going to get better. He said we should take the footsteps of the newborn baby. And it's a painful step. And eventually the baby starts walking. And lo and behold, the baby becomes adult.
That's
Look,
true.
so from cradle to adulthood, if we imbibe the culture of the national pledge.
Okay.
Yes.
I have two children.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to give me an idea of what you want me to do when it comes to my kids. Now they're growing up. How do you want me to start teaching them? How do I start telling them about the pledge? Is it just about the pledge or about being good citizens, about um, being upstanding citizens? What exactly should I tell them that they need to do to make them model citizens?
Okay, great. This reflects each other. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, your conduct, your personal conduct as a parent in the house will liken your children to take their footstep. Yeah.
Exactly.
Great. And more so, our religious houses, that is our schools and our religious houses, once if they replicate a good conduct as it might be, it would it will reflect on each other, and they'll come out real good. And by the way, look, it's already in the platter. If you teach a child the way he would go, let me tell you, he goes that way.
That's true.
Yeah, sure.
So you've not still answered me like,
Tell me.
what are the things I should start instilling in my child now? Is it learn the pledge,
Okay,
or
okay.
is it learn what voting means, or um, pray for Nigeria? Because you mentioned God. Should I
That's right.
teach them to pray for the country?
Okay, okay. Listen, let me tell you, my religion tells me something that righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to a people.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
I
once if a
understand.
state is righteous, do you know what? The people excel. It's said in one of the chapters in the book of Second Chronicle 2020. It said not 14, 2 Corinthians 7:14. Which says that if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves, seek my face, and cease from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and heal their land. Look, God is ready to heal our land through and through. No matter what religion you are, look, this is not about religiosity. It's about how a nation can be the best it can be. I said the Americans, there are Muslims in America, there are pagans, there are atheists, and all manner of religions, but they said in God we trust.
That's true.
Just like Nigeria, we said, so help me God, so we can be faithful, loyal, and honest. Do you know what? If it's only the virtues of the national pledge,
Okay.
you teach your children to be faithful, to be loyal, and to be honest
To the country,
to the
or
country.
to even their fellow people.
Most certainly.
Okay.
Most certainly. It is just charity begins at home. Look, from cradle, when you teach them all this, and when you have a good conduct within your community, within your social cycles, within your your faith base, where what you believe,
Yeah.
By and large, this will drop on your children, and I want to assure you, you will see them growing in that light.
Okay. I understand now. When we teach them the values of being faithful,
That's right.
being loyal
Yeah.
to others,
Yeah.
and being honest,
Yeah.
if they grow up with it and maybe they enter politics or something tomorrow, whichever way they find themselves in the country,
That's right.
and they uphold those values,
Mm.
it automatically translates into the well-being of the nation.
Very well.
Okay.
Very well.
Okay. So, how does someone reconcile that with the hardship of the country? Do we just forget about it and remain faithful to the corrupt politicians?
No, okay, hold it. Let me tell you something. There's something that they said. Look, let me tell you. If this country do not have honor for the Godhead or for the God of the universe, forget about politics, forget about undertone.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
What
Do you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Look, let me tell you. I'll tell you something. Look, let's be a little patient to
Okay.
understand how these things are run. When this very president we have, when he came into power, he stood as an attitude leader and he made a declaration. He said he's going to run a government that is not partisan. Whoever has a positive energy to work with him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I
He's
understand.
inviting all us on to come and let's fix this nation. He said that. Do you know how people are so disgruntled? They are so selfish and so partisan that they cannot even hear what this man is saying. But do you know what? I've known of one man, his name is Wike, Mr. Project. Me some Wike, I've never seen him, I don't know him, but I've heard of him, I see him on TV. He's a clear epitome of, look, do you know what Wike said 2 days ago over the national TV? A minister during Buhari gives his wife 4 billion naira every 29 days for what cannot be given account of. So you can imagine if a standing minister can be so audacious, can be so, you know, energetic to make such a proclamation. Come on, we are getting better. We are getting to a better state. Okay, look at it. The other day, About 5 days ago, I went to the supermarket. I went to make payment to the cashier. Do you know what happened? Their system were malfunctioning. I asked them, hey, you guys don't keep me here for a long time. They said to me, hey, Oga, please, we are sorry. We're trying to fix the systems. We have a new software in the system now. I said, software for what? They said to me that they have removed all the taxes that were imputed in every item. So the prices of items are changed now. Look in this very regime.
Are you serious?
Sure, this is what is happening. And the Indians do not know.
So
And there's
how
not enough
much?
advocacy for people to
Well,
know.
if the prices, if what was taken out was of any substance, people would know.
Look, my
Don't you
brother,
think so?
it will tell over time.
You think if they take Kobo, it's people will
It reflects.
notice.
If you have a billion naira and one kobo is removed, it's no longer a billion naira.
Well, okay. Currently, what do you think Nigerians are missing in these virtues? Do you think that Nigerians currently are not committed? They are not faithful people.
Nigerians are so disgruntled.
Okay.
They got so overwhelmed. When they have their expectation not met, they were all craving for Peter Obi, and God instituted Bola Tinubu as the president, and they got disgruntled. And most of them become bitter, and they cannot even think, right, they cannot even see what this man is doing. Could you remember way back when Goodluck Jonathan changed the price of fuel? He removed was it subsidy he removed, or he changed the
Yeah,
price?
I removed the
The
subsidy.
country was almost upside down, and he had to return it. But you see what this man does? He removes subsidy, and fuel rises from 350 naira to almost 1,000 something. And nobody is saying anything. People are managing it. Why? Because there's a God that sees that what he comes with, the reform he comes with, would gradually transform this nation. It will bring newness to this nation. Truly, I want to assure you, things will change. Okay,
Okay.
look, sir, when you even look at the global, the prices of fuel globally, the PMS globally, I tell you of the truth, Nigeria's price is even a lot better. Truly, I'm not saying this for any selfish reason. I'm also going through the pains, of the high price and high price everywhere and things changing abruptly. But I mean,
You know, we have been taking a lot in the name of a great country. Nigerians have sacrificed a lot for many years. For so many years, we've been told to swallow things. When Buhari came in, he told us that I'm going to stop the importation of some things, and in the next few years, things will be better. I'm going to do this. You guys should manage. I'm going to create steady power supply. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And we've been exercising patience for so long. New politicians come, they say the same thing. And you now, you're speaking on behalf of the government and you're telling us to have patience also.
Well, no, hold it. When they say I'm speaking on behalf of the government, it's really confusing. Someone might think like I'm part of the government.
No,
I'm an
what I'm saying
individual.
is that
Okay.
you are echoing usually the same thing that the government will say. Have patience.
No, look, I'm
Be
echoing based on step by step what I see happening and what I see happening. Look, I said to you, someone in PDP coming to the national TV, global, worldwide TV, global TV, to make declaration that look, a certain minister was giving his wife 4 billion naira every
Yeah.
29 days, and there's no account for it. Come on, isn't that a change? Isn't that a renewed hope? Which minister? Do you know what happened to the previous minister, Bello, that served during Buhari tenure? Do you know what he did? He returned money to the government's coffer. He returned money. Moreover, a lot of projects were not done. But look at what this man done within a short time, within the shortest time. He changed the outlook of Abuja. And he's doing it and he keeps doing it.
Well, truly, I agree with you, Mr. Munike, when it comes to what he's doing in Abuja. I really like what he's doing because so far so good. A lot of the roads are being paved, but a lot of people will say that that is just Abuja, not the entire 36 states. So we can't actually just decide that because of Wike is doing well and he's building roads in Abuja means that the remaining 35 states are also doing well.
Sir, give this man the Minister of Works and Housing. You see what you do in this country.
I will if I could. I will if I could.
If you can
Actually,
bear two
I
ministries,
would.
he should be given. If you can be Minister of both FCT and Work and Housing, you will see a new Nigeria.
So, what about the remaining 35 states? Okay, why I'm asking this is that
No,
I understand. I
sir,
understand your
sir.
vision.
By the way, let me even tell you something.
Okay.
Something, there's a revolution going on in this country that is likely to make Nigeria one once again. Go to Abia State and see what he's doing. I don't know him. I've never seen him. Go to Anambra State and see what Soludo is doing. He's bringing Malaysia back into Nigeria. The lost glory that we threw to Malaysia is returned back to us. Go to Akwa Ibom and see what the pastor, the reverend is doing. What do you call the governor of Akwa Ibom? Go and see what he's doing.
That's true. That's true. I
Better.
actually visited Anambra recently, and I see roads being commissioned. I see things actually happening. To be honest, and even in Enugu State, when I went there, I was surprised. Almost the whole. It was so shocking how well tired Enugu is. But I won't say it's all because of Tinubu or his.
It's his influence, Mazinanya. Let me tell you, it's his influence.
But those started even before he came in.
But okay.
No, I understand.
What
Okay,
Abuja when
it's
he came in?
possible he keeps it going, which is a good thing.
And you know, most of the people doing this work, like Oti, he's not APC. And look at what he's doing.
Okay.
Wike is not APC. Look at what he's doing. I mean, come on, let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Road is good. Road is good. So now the youths are unemployed. Security is hard to see. I won't say hard to see, but the insecurity problem is getting higher and higher and higher. It's heightening.
Okay.
What do you have to say about that?
Okay, listen, let me tell you. Rome was not built in a day. You understand? Looking at the policies and the relief that this government have brought, a big relief for thousands of youths. There is student loan that is going on now.
Shouldn't the relief be safeguarding life? Shouldn't that be important? Safeguarding life. People are dying all over the country.
Most certainly. Coming to look at it, have you heard of the recent order that is given to the armed forces and the security forces when he went to Benue State?
No, I haven't.
Well, he gave them charge to do the needful, and he said that fiercely. He was not really informed. I don't know how it went because he was saying they should settle the dispute. There was no any dispute. These people were massacred, and he got to understanding that, and he gave them a marching order to bring change.
Everyone knows what the problem is.
What Musa is doing, what the head of the army is doing, what Christopher Musa is doing. Look, let me tell you, they don't even say it all. If they will be saying it all, you would think they're flattering. The country is already what and overwhelmed by insurgency and all manner of things. By the way, let me even tell you, it will amaze you.
Okay.
Do you know that this banditry and insurgency started way back? Go to Birnungwari, you can't pass that way to the south or to the east, way back. We're talking about 30 years, 40 years ago. So these are not new things. This thing just became escalated because of one reason or the other. The problem of the Sahel and all of that.
So it's part of us. It's part of the country. We should.
No. This is a global. This is like a global affliction. It's not just Nigeria. You understand what I'm saying? It's not just Nigeria. It's all over. It's all over the world.
Well, to to highlight what is going on in Nigeria, Nigeria is different because if you really check worldwide, you will see that Nigeria has the highest amount of deaths when it comes to terrorism and insecurity. Worldwide, we are the highest. You can check the figures anywhere on Google, ChatGPT. we have the highest amount of death when it comes to terrorism and insecurity. Do you know that Boko Haram killed more people than even ISIS and the Taliban? So you can't say it's worldwide when we are leading the world, just Nigeria. How old is the country? And we are leading the world in terrorism and in death.
I know we cry daily. An injury to one is like injury to all. Our people are massacred here and there, and all of that. We are aware of it. But do you know what? Do you know what? It's going to get better.
Of course, I believe so.
All
I
this
do
will be
believe so.
trickling down. It will be reducing. Let me tell you. It is said one day, all this for a thief and one day for the owner. You know what? Nigeria will get better. In as much as, haven't you heard of the forest guard that was announced by the president that would begin work? Don't you think that would be
Forest for the forest.
forest guard? Yes.
So they are going to curb the headsmen.
Haven't you heard what is happening with Amote?
But why not pass a law so that these these headsmen that are grazing all over the country,
Yeah.
why not pass a law so that they build barns and farms and keep their cows over and feed them like every other civilized nation? Why not do something like that?
That law is passed in the
Why
way.
spend money on guards and things like that for the forest?
These are policies that has to take one step at a time. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Because even when they are given those spaces to graze their flocks and what have you, without the forest guard, they will not be guarded. Okay, so I want to believe most of these policies are well prepared by the state.
A lot of people actually think they don't want to stay one place. They want to go into different
This
states.
is an old-fashioned, way of grazing. It's an old-fashioned, and I want to assure you, policies regarding that are being put in place. I want to believe,
Okay.
because these things will not just happen like thunder overnight. It will take time. One step at a time. And which is
People
why-
are dying, well, that's one step at a time. Don't the life of those people that are dying, don't they mean anything?
Well, sir, it means a lot. It means
Because
a lot.
if we keep taking time, more people keep dying. When it's easier to pass a law banning open grazing so that they do things the way every other country in the world does their own.
Well, as I
We're
said-
not the only one.
Yes, as I said to you earlier, such a law is worked upon to be put in place.
How long? How long has this been happening? This has been happening at least going to, like you said, you mentioned 30 years, but at least to my own knowledge, at least 15 years. So when would that law happen and how many people have died so far since then? When it would have been easier to pass a law and enforce a law, not spending money on things that are not going to have fruits.
Well, I want to believe that what you are saying now is not only you that have said that.
Okay.
A lot of quarters, such a suggestion is brought to the state, and I believe as time goes on, things will be better in that light.
Well, I believe that, like you said, I like your book. I've taken my time to study it and I know it well. I believe it's important for Nigerians to understand the pledge, understand that it's a prayer, understand that it's an oath that they're taking to be good citizens, to be loyal to the country, to be faithful. I believe all that. I try my best to live by that. I want unity. To be honest with you, I don't want to see us getting divided and starting afresh. But the way things are going, it's almost like the leaders are not being faithful to us. They're not being loyal to us. How do we reconcile with that when we are doing our best
look,
for a
let
good
me tell
nation
you.
and
Okay, good. Let me tell you.
Okay.
You may think that we are doing our best for a good nation, but let me tell you one truth. There's something happening in this country that even the indigent, even the people that trickles from the family background to even the people hawking on the street, they are part and parcel of this very problem we're having today. It's not only the leaders. Let me
Of
tell
course,
you,
I
if you
understand
know it will
that
amaze you
aspect.
today if a leader is put in position in this country. Before you know it, you see how he will be trumped by family and friends and well-wishers. They put him in trouble. They trunk at him. They ensure that they make him to go out of his way.
Well, when
No,
you
let me tell you.
when
Yes, sir.
you say things like that, this is, to me, every country can be corrupt. Every country has the ability to be maximally corrupt. How do they stop it? They stop it with laws. They stop it with uh,
Policies.
policies. They stop it with a lot of laws. When you do some things, you go to jail. You stop it with policies. So I don't buy the fact that we are not the most corrupt people. We
Okay.
are not the most evil
Okay.
people.
Let me give you an example. Have you seen what is happening to the former central bank governor? You think it's a joke? You think it's a different country that is
What is
indicting
happening to
him?
him?
Can you see how he's been indicted for taking public funds?
Is he in jail?
Of course he is. He's going through a series of charges and he's coughing out monies, estates, houses, and all manner of things. In this country,
So
haven't you had?
currently now,
Yeah,
because I've had some rumors that he is not in jail,
my
like
brother,
Dilo Melaye. What is happening to him also?
what is happening today now?
I thought EFCC put a warrant for his arrest, but still he's a free man.
No, no, no. Look, let me tell you one truth. Let me tell you one truth.
It's almost like
When
it
you go,
doesn't
when
even matter
sir,
if
no,
you
no, no.
steal.
You know, let me tell you, the social media is saying all manner of things. You know, and you would think, okay, was it not how many days ago I saw on the social media that the minister that the secretary to the state is removed and a lady is put in his position. This is the social media
Okay, you think
propaganda.
it's a lie that Dino
Most of the
Melaye
things,
wasn't
sir, no, 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 not about even Dino
okay?
Malaye. Most of the things you see on the social media, some of them and most of them are not true. Confirm it,
Okay.
verify it, and you understand that it's not true. More so, you know what is happening right now in the state, in the global
Okay,
stage.
let's on
The
the issue
global
of
stage,
Dino
I say, and
Melaye.
you even see things that are really someone's picture and talking, and it will be liking that it's not him, it's an AI generated.
Of course, I
So,
understand.
I mean, things are happening in the way that, look, if you're not careful, you see a brother speaking to you, telling you about your mother, telling you about your family, calling you by a name and your name, your local name, and showing you a village, and you will see a village, and it is an AI generated thing. So, I hope it's a clarion call for all Nigerians to be aware of that.
So you think
Not
there's
a lot,
justice?
sir.
You think there's justice in this country
Look, in
when
every
it comes to political crimes?
see, if there is no
You think the
justice,
CBN governor will end up meeting justice?
can you say the
Dino
justice
Melaye
depends?
will end up meeting justice.
Of course, you knew Bello was even held the other time. He was being looked over.
Yaya Bello
Yaya Bello, yes.
also.
They were looking for him all over the place until they found him.
I I haven't made a mistake. Not Dino Melaye, Yaya Bello.
That's right.
Have they seen him?
They have seen him.
Is he in jail?
Well, actually, you know, there are a lot of clauses when it comes to issues like, as I told you, the social media would give you an interpretation that is different from what really is happening.
I believe that in this country we are, once you get to a certain level, it's almost like the law doesn't apply to you. Do you think so?
Well, I do not think so. If it is like that, well, thank you for correcting yourself. It
Yeah.
was not Dino
It was
Malaye.
not Dino
It
Melaye, it
was a
was Yaya
Yaya Bello.
Bello.
Good and fine.
It was Yaya
If
Bello.
if
Exactly.
if the country was not working, if what do you call the head of EFCC? What do you call him? The head of EFCC. If the head of EFCC do not stand and do the needful. Which have you heard that the NNPC leadership took trillions of naira. Are you aware of it? And the National Assembly are indicting them.
So
This is
are they in
Nigeria.
jail?
Sir,
No, it's a simple question.
this is
Are they in jail right now?
It's on the front burner. I would not know whether they are in jail, but of course you should know that.
No, but it should be public knowledge. If we want the country to change, just like China, if you do bad in China, automatically everyone knows what will happen to you.
Well, apparently
You
you are seeing
understand?
now. Sir,
So
this is
when
gradually.
in Nigeria here you do bad and you get a slap on the wrist, what's to stop others from doing the same thing? So you mentioned NMPC. Are they in jail? They are not.
Well, this just came up. You
Yaya
understand?
Bello. Yeah, thank you. I said Dino. Dino, no vessel. Yaya Bello is he in jail.
Sir, as I will rightly tell you, you would not know, because even if he's in jail now, the social media could tell you he's not in jail.
No, if he's in jail, I think EFCC would announce it because they announced it to the public that they were looking for him.
Well, and it was said that
So you
he's in
think they
jail.
will arrest him?
And it was said that he's in jail, isn't it?
Okay, they put out a statement that they've arrested him.
Because if he was arrested, they would not just let him
Okay,
go.
let me check. Let me check shortly. Let me search
Okay.
if Yahaya Bello is in jail currently.
Okay.
So please continue while I check.
So coming to look at my commitment, the book we just wrote. This book is called From the Change We Desire, and the Change We Desire is a book that translated the national pledge into 4 languages: Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, and Pidgin. And for us to build a better Nigeria, we called from that book to ensure that parents and mothers know how to take their children from cradle to adulthood by teaching them the virtues of the national pledge. In this very book, we have the national anthem, the new one, the first stanza, the second
Okay,
stanza,
it
and the third
says,
stanza.
sorry, 1 minute. It says here, Yahaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State, is currently not in jail. He was released from Kuje Custodial Center on December 20th, 2024, after meeting the bail conditions set by the Federal High Court in Abuja.
But have you verified? This
No,
information from the
yeah,
Federal High Court?
this is Grok. So Grok actually is very update when it comes to Nigerian news. Okay, the court presided over. Okay, the court was presided over by Justice Marianne Aneni, granted him bail in the sum of 500 million naira with 3 shorties, each owning properties in high value in areas of Abuja, and other conditions such as surrendering his international passport. However, Bello faces multiple ongoing corruption cases, including a 19-count charge for alleged money laundering of 80 billion and a 16-count charge for alleged fraud of 10 billion, with trials scheduled to continue in 2025. While he is out on bail for one case, another case had previously denied him bail in a separate case, though has since been released. Are you listening to this?
I know.
They denied him bail, but they still released him.
Well, that release could be
And
subject to.
he has case of fraud, of money laundering, 80 billion, of fraud, 10 billion, and he paid 500 million naira, and he's a free man. And even the court denied him bail, but they still released him. What will you say about that?
Well, you have to do a fact check, fact finding on that very statement and know the very reasons why that happened. So it has layers onwardly that you can see the justification of the decision of the state would not be, would not just be, carelessly done. Because
So you don't think it's just a way to give him a slap on the wrist, and after a couple years, he's found not guilty?
well, in as much as the case is still onward, I believe, we have to follow it to the end.
Well, we all know how it will end.
Well, this is the very
Desian,
assumption.
you know Desian,
Yeah, I know, the former minister of petrol.
how did her case end?
Her case is still on. She is still seeking for.
Why are these people not in jail? Why will the common Nigerian not even do something even as little as this and be in jail and be going to court? Why
These
are
people
they
have been in
free?
jail at one time or the other, and because of the policy of the law, because the law cannot be roughened in any way. The policy of the law would
How
demand
long has
whatever.
Desian's case been in court? When did it start? And the law, how long does it take to work? She has been free. We all know what
No,
happened.
no. I was going
Why
through
is
the I
she?
was
Why do
going
you
through
think
the
she's
media
free?
the other day through one of the newspaper headline, and she was like pleading even on having to have herself back and be free and all of that. So I think there's more to be done on that than it is with they're complicated cases. You understand what
I
I'm saying?
think if we are really serious about saving this country, there should be consequences for things like this.
But you can imagine that
There
those
should be
people, the
serious,
consequences.
as in,
But
they should set examples with people like that.
but can't you see what they're going through?
What are they going through?
They're going through stages of.
You still altogether 90 billion, you pay 500 million, and your cost,
But
your
but
case stays in
of
court
course, but the
for
judiciary.
10, 20 years.
But
And what are you going through?
but
You send lawyers to go to court case,
but you know
and
what
you keep eating the money.
but you know what the judiciary are doing. They sway an oath of office before being in their very exalted position. You understand? And let me tell you, lo and behold, it gets at them. Whoever does not do it well, the very prayer that is enshrined in our ethics, we get at those people.
So, okay, why I'm asking all these questions? Why I'm asking all these questions is because of I want to go back to the issue of what each Nigerian should do to make Nigeria a good country, to
Okay,
make us a better country. What we should do as Nigerians. Don't you think it would be better if we as Nigerians make sure that these people are held accountable?
look, let me tell you, that is why I minimize my own aspect of uh, of my my what I offer to my state. From what my state offered to me. The state of Nigeria offered to me um, the very fundamentals in the national pledge and in the national anthem. And I have it back to offer to the state of Nigeria that we should be faithful, loyal, and honest. Look, let me tell you, if every Nigeria is faithful, loyal, and honest, and if every Nigeria would look at the national pledge as a tripartite assertion, which said, I pledge. At any given time, you are saying, I pledge. The person next to you would be saying, I pledge. If we say it as a cliche, it will get to a point where it will saturate and become like a clarion call. And we'll all be pledging, and we'll all be becoming faithful, and we'll all becoming loyal, and we'll all becoming honest.
I think you're right. I think you're right because if people can take example from, I don't know if you know the activist Very Dark Man.
Yes.
I think he's one of those kind of people you want Nigerians to be.
Yeah, apparently,
He's
very dark
trying
man. He's
to.
been doing great things. He has taken a lot of responsibility upon his shoulder that are not even his. And that is what is expected for every Nigerian. You have to have empathy. You have to have love for nation. You have to be ready to sacrifice your comfort. To ensure you give your own quota to the state, which is what a very dark man is with VDM. He's doing good,
Yeah.
and I appreciate him as a person. And I want to assure you, If we have a handful of individuals like him, Nigeria will be great again.
I think honestly, we need Nigerians to take up the role of activism, because I see, when I see trying to fight for this country to be great, I see it as an active role, just like the way Very Dark Man is doing. Like these people that are trying to ruin this country, I think we need activists also to find ways to make sure that they don't get away with it. One way or the other, we need lawyers will who will take it upon themselves to make sure that cases keep coming in. They do their proper investigations. They don't let, even if judges are trying to sweep it under the rug, we need lawyers who will be activists, who will dig deep and expose everything and bring out so much evidence that they can't hide. We need police officers who can be activists and also do their own investigations. We need even just normal citizens. You understand? Everyone can have a role to play. And I think it's high time that instead of just praying to God, maybe we start recalling politicians that aren't doing well. I think something like that should be added also. Like Nigerians should have the knowledge, because if we're talking about nationalism, we should treat this country as if it belongs to us too,
Yeah, sure,
right?
sure.
So, for example, and we put a House of Rep member or a senator, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. You understand? I think the people should be activists and be able to start the process of recalling those senators or members of House of Reps, whoever they are, get them out of there, put someone else. If you aren't doing it, get them out of there. I think things like that should be, instead of, I know God is important, I know praying is important, but I think we should all play more roles in terms of governance, in terms of understanding how to get those people out of office.
Well, the truth is, you can imagine, um, a host of people would not be able to fathom and understand that our our symbols include us seeking for the help of God.
No, I don't
So no,
dispute
no, no. I'm
the
trying to
God
bring something.
aspect.
I'm trying to bring something. For me as a person, if I can change the mindset of Nigerians, 1% of the mindset of Nigeria, I'm one individual. And Nigerians are almost 200 million. And I believe out of this 200 million, we have roughly 80 million that are learned. We will have 80 million learned Nigerians who will come up with an advocacy just like the one I'm running.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So that means we'll likely have 800 million percent
Exactly.
of Nigerian
Exactly.
mindset being changed.
We
So
need leaders.
yes. So for now, more especially our religious leaders, in recent time, I've not seen the churches.
No, the religious leader. And the funny thing, that
In,
is where
in
that
recent time,
is
I truly have not seen the churches praying. The churches have taken sides eventually, and the mosque have taken sides eventually. So I think it's a clarion call for the churches and the mosque and wherever you have the God that you worship, for you to believe. Please just even believe in the Nigeria. Because look, if you don't have any reason to get disgruntled, because if you have, then you are not even capable of standing in the soil of Nigeria. If you're on the soil of Nigeria, it behooves you to seek for the help of God, for the love of Nigeria, and for the well-being of Nigeria.
okay. That means, in other words, what you're saying is that from what you've written in this book,
Okay.
it also covers the aspect of activism on behalf of the country.
As a matter of fact, aside from that, again, it covers. There's a page here which declares in this very book, we have a page here which says citizens' commitment and participation for a better democratic government. This is included in this book.
That's good. That's
citizens'
good. That's good.
participation and commitment
That's
for a
good.
better
I
democratic
like that.
government. You know, in this very book, it is written potential ways to restore the nation's honor and integrity. All written in this book. In this very book, we have the national symbols inscribed, okay? And we further have the social media handles of the National Orientation Agency for the citizen to learn about the Citizens Code.
That's good.
We have the Citizen Code that is being advocated by National Orientation Agency. And I want to assure you, if Nigerians will be resilient, if Nigeria will be hopeful, if Nigerians will imbibe the culture of the code.
And if I may ask, do you also think that our commitment should be knowing our rights as a people and
Apparently,
knowing the law of
it's because of
what
the
we
right by
have,
right
what we
that I've
can
known.
do
It's
and what we
because of
cannot
by
do?
right that I've known that God gave me the idea of witty inventions to remember that we should practice and exercise and live by the tenets of the national pledge. If not, we kept reciting it over and over again. We kept reciting it year in, year out. From independence, we kept reciting it. And we don't even remember that we need to live by it, that we need to practice it. So it's just a clear call for Nigerians to live and practice the national pledge. Unless we want to deny our religion for saying that we should meditate on something.
That's
Unless
good.
we
That's
want
good.
to deny our faith-based inclination of saying that we have to pray and pray until something happens.
That's good. I like that. So, as you guys can hear,
Battery low. Really, 1 hour. Oh boy. So far, so good, but
so far so good.
so by the time you turn the button now, we'll be closing, yeah?
Yeah. I'll just round up.
Yeah. So how do you
No, it's very well.
okay, good.
At least for our first time.
Mm.
It's okay.
Mm.
It's nice. So no much viewers.
Yeah.
But when they wake up,
Okay, great. So this will continue from where we stop. Okay, we're still live for real, yeah? Yeah. We're good to go. What a state. I love my country. Giant of Africa.
So that means every Nigerian right now should be thinking of how they should do their best to contribute to the national development of the country.
That's right.
Whether it's terms of activism, whether it's terms of training their children.
That's right.
To also imbibe in that.
Yeah, the culture of the virtues of the national pledge.
Culture of the virtues of national pledge.
That's right. We're still live, yeah?
Yes, we are. Okay, well, time to round up.
That's right. We're good.
So, everyone, you've heard it from Mr. Blessed. It's time you start living fully as a Nigerian, not as a bystander looking at what is happening in the country. He has written a book. I had to really question him as to do my due diligence on behalf of you guys watching. what I believe that you guys may want to ask, I decided to ask it. I believe in what he's doing. I believe that Nigerians should have a love for the nation and we should all try to make the country great. So, as you're sitting at home, I want you to sit down. I want you to think, how can you make Nigeria great? Is it by activism? Are you a lawyer? Can you investigate? Are you a police officer? Are you a doctor? How can you contribute? Are you going to join politics? What will you do? Are you going to pray for the country? Are you going to teach your children about the law of the nation? What will be your role to play? Will you join other groups? I think if we have leaders, we have just one person can start a group, and that group can really cause a change. You see, the way Very Dark Man is changing things, challenging the banks, challenging. If we have more people coming out like that, I know it's dangerous, but when we are enough, there will be too many of us to stop us. So everyone at home can do something. You can open a page, you can start your own platform, you can write a book, do something to support the country. Mr. Blessed,
Yeah.
thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, David. God
I
bless you,
think
brother.
everyone that has watched this video have learned something at least. I myself, I'm also thinking of how best to support the nation. I do want to, I don't know, politics is a dirty game, but we'll find a way. Right now, I'll be speaking out, I'll build a platform and hopefully build a following, then we'll know where it goes from there. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.
We remain giant of Africa.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.